Okay, guys, I was sent in a clip from a viewer. Shout out to Oxid. Now, Oxid sent me this clip, and this was in 2020, right? And this is when we were playing an open lobby that I was hosting for the community nearly 5-6 years ago. Shout out to all those people that played in that famous Gears 1, 2, 3 open lobby session we did for those 3 or 4 days. It was great fun. Now, scratch one grub. Sorry for blowing your ears up, but I just had to. Now, when we look at this clip, he said, I'm sorry about the terrible clip. You can see here in the corner. This was probably last footage of me playing Gears. We're playing the open lobby, and he sends me this clip, and he says, hey, I just finished playing Reloaded, and I'd love you to host another Gears 1 Classic lobby, because the game's just way different to Reloaded. And, you know, even that, like, look at that chunk, man. It's like, look at it. Move yourself out of the way. Whole body just splattered everywhere, right? And he said to me, they've removed the rain. I said, I'm sorry, what do you mean? He said, you know there's no lighting effects and, no environmental effects in Reloaded or UE. I said, what do you mean there's no environmental effects? So we started looking, and we take a look at Subway. This is Subway. We've got the sunshine, we've got this brown aesthetic, and then we've got the original grey, rain, grit. And I'm thinking this, right? Number one, I'm thinking this.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, pause. But when I look at this, I think of like the games devs that have got all the degrees and certificates and all of this environmental knowledge of lighting and how scenes look and just making a scene look as good as possible. Now, if you've never seen Gears of War before, this picture here looks better than this picture here. Because this picture is better lit, it's more realistic, it looks like the light is cascading, the shadows cascading. This is just like a mushy grey mess. But what these game devs and people don't realise is games have a feel. That's what they do, they have a feel. You're not trying to recreate something super accurate, especially when you're remastering or remaking something. You're trying to bring back the vibes of the original. And this here is not it. This is not the vibes of the original. But wait, look at Mansion. There's no rain. You're not pushing a rain behind the tree. The tree is in Gears 2 behind the boom shot. That's the key staple. Tree behind the boom. UE, not really a tree behind the boom shot. And it's open. And yes, this picture looks nice. There's nice saturation, nice color tones. It looks accurate. It looks good, but it's not the original, is it? This, you might say, looks dumb. It's overly green, but the game had color palettes. You know what I'm talking about. Ravendown was a big orange map. You can sit here and say, well, that's because they didn't have the technical ability to do correct lighting, so the mapping looked, don't matter. Tyro Station, yellowy. Ravendown, orange. Canals, blue. Mansion, green. Process was like purpley luminescent, right? They all had like a colour theme, and you can flick and be like, I know that map just from the colour. Subway was a really grey, depressing map. It was. Now, does it mean that they should make the game look bad and inaccurate? No. But this is what I'm talking about. It's not just TC. I'm not here just to bash TC. A lot of companies, quote,
they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't, right? Now, when you look at this, on the right-hand side, this where I am, this is the Oblivion Remaster. I'll put myself in the middle. This is the Remaster. Now, this technically looks better if you've never seen the one on the left. It's more accurate, it's less green, there's not this tone going over the top of it. But Oblivion had this bright colour. Because of the time, they couldn't really do the technology. And when they've remastered it, it doesn't capture that same essence, because that's what you're trying to do in a remaster, a remake, a reimagination. Trying to capture that essence. And It doesn't do that in Gears of War, and it doesn't do that in Oblivion because the colour palette is not quite there. And you can see, you know, just how much of a difference it makes. Now, you can say, oh, this looks flat. It doesn't look as good as this. And on a technical level, people will say, oh, yeah, it doesn't look right. But it's got to be charming to the original, right? Look at the one on the left. the one on my left here. It's like flipped for me. This one is the one that's been remastered and fixed. Yes, you could say it's oversaturated, it's over green, but that is what Oblivion is to people. You remember that original experience. Just look, like, this is the remaster, and then this is it fixed. Now, you might say, oh, this is terrible, this looks way too blue. The original looks way better here. The new remaster looks way crisper, way better. This just looks blue. It looks like it's got a filter. But I'm telling you, if you were to go and put a greenish hue across this map, people would like it more because it reminds you of the times of playing Mansion. If you were to go on Canals and make it slightly more saturated in blue, it would remind them. Just look at it, man. This should be more grey. This map should be more grey. And to have no environmental effects, one of the key things about my memory of Gears is I loaded up and I put Gears in. It was Christmas, and I played, I think it was around multiplayer, around January 2007, I got internet so I could play online because internet wasn't always a thing back then. And I went on a Mansion game, and I just remember looking at the rain and the colours and everything, the water splashing off the rocks, and been like, wow, this looks better than my PlayStation 2. Wow. This is not wowing anybody. This should be like, think about this. This is to entice PlayStation players in. That's what this is. It's not anything else. Let's not pretend like it's a good remaster. Let's not pretend like it's a good, you know, they've changed mechanics. They've removed crouching. They've removed crouch sniping. They've added spotting.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right, anyway. Sorry, I just like that clip. But, you know, I'm not trying to say that it's the end of the world, but a PlayStation player, they've seen amazing graphic games. That's what PlayStation's kind of known for. They should be rolling up onto Gears and been like, whoa. I can see TC have spent a tremendous amount of time making the performance good on PC, which it's not. The performance good on the console, which I believe it is. But look at the graphics. Look at the je ne sais quoi, the juice, the oomph, right? It's not there. It looks flat. It doesn't look exciting. Yeah, it looks sharp. Yes, it looks technically accurate. You know, this here looks technically accurate. But it's not got that. The modern games, the way they're designed these days, they all look similar because they're all trying to be accurate. Sometimes you don't want to be accurate. Sometimes you want to create a theme, an environment. And I think that's lost. Not just on TC, on a lot of game devs. That they go for accuracy so much that their games lose the charm, the theme, you know, you walk down a tunnel and the room is lit with really bright orange lights. Maybe they're too orange and the whole room is orangey. Then the game gets remastered, it gets a HD remake, it gets whatever, and you go down the tunnels and the lights are tiny, they're accurate, they're creating a nice glow, but you remember it as going into that room and being, whoa, lit up with light. And we're losing charm. I think that's what it is. I think we're losing charm due to accuracy. This to me is a more charming image. This to me is a more charming image than this. This just looks like anything. You could say it looks more accurate. The concrete blocks look accurate. The stones look accurate. There's nothing overly bright, overly dark. But where's the charm in it? You know, you're trying to sell this game to PlayStation players. Maybe the new game will be different. Maybe they'll tweak the graphics or whatever. But I'm not sure. Really not sure on it. Let me know what you think, because maybe I'm nitpicking. But I just know that when Oxid sent me this clip, you know, I don't always come up with YouTube videos myself, you know, ideas. Sometimes, you know, some people send me stuff and talk and I ignore it, or I'll make a video on it, whatever. But Oxid was in the chat and he was like, man, I can't believe they got rid of the rain. I mean, like, I don't know if this is here then. Is this drip of rain here? Because if it's not raining, where is this drip of rain? And it's little things. It's little things like that. Now, this could be in the game. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe you could tell me because I've not played the game. But, you know, yeah, just, you know, I just thought I'd let you know. Also, I think some people have done some growing up over the last 5 years, arguing with me and having back and forth and discussions. And yesterday, a guy left me a comment and he said, I used to watch you, used to argue on Gears 5 and blah, 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 but I hope you're doing really well. It's nice to hear from you. I've been enjoying your videos. So, you know, I don't hold beef with anybody. I don't argue with anybody. I just, you know, I'm tongue in cheek. I'm teasing. I'm sure TC do know what they're doing, but it's just the modern world of like, you know, we've just lost that charm. I just don't think games look as charming anymore. Let me know what you think.